there was a challenge of networking. But after showing me how to use the Facebook, the WhatsApp, now at least even if I borrow the phone, I can use. I even got a chance to join some platforms that helped me to get maybe job adverts when they are there.
Comedy Festival bili mukageri rugogo muhuma showground mutente mwaguga ku Saturday nga July buli comedian gwomanyi mu Uganda wano ajja kubeerayo ng'omuli mugwe kusesa abantu n'amaaso gabamyuki abantu mujja n'obutambala tugenda kuseka werabira n'abakubanja tiketi ozigula ku Momo kamunyenye mu 65 kamunyenye 20 kadaala tiketi obwogigula ku Momo ya mitwalo 5 naye nga ku miryango ya mitwalo 10 emmeeza y'abantu 8 ya milioni 2 VIP ya mitwalo 15 kale booking nga bukyali eno shock kuseka Pro Max Juliana Kanyongozi King Saha Wininwaji Irene Nambiru ate nabo tujja kubasesa walayi bayimenga baseka obwana bu Raptor obwana bukamunye mujja nabo takwakula kemitwalo jabi ate ne kauza muteso zoka Nanya July ya Rugogo Muma Showground Comedy Festival bili mukaga ategekedwa Abitex Promotion. Football celebration is on UBC on Star Time. Starting 11th June to 19th July, the World Cup is the only thing that matters. Don't miss the last dance of Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, Neymar Jr. on channel 201 or channel 447 on Star Time. Star Time's reward. Make monthly subscription on your current bouquet to enjoy upgrade to the next higher bouquet on us. Classic and Super Bouquet customers, you enjoy 5 days extra. Powered by Star Times.
Reach Ahead Africa and NBS Plus proudly presents the biggest inter-school dance showdown. Are you ready? You can dance! Grand finale. After weeks of energy, dedication and unforgettable performances, schools from across the country are coming together for one final showdown. Expect crazy moves, wild energy and non-stop vibes all day long. Happening at Chorus International School Saturday, 20th June 2026 from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Under the theme, Empowering Youth and Transforming Livelihoods Through Dance. Dance is more than entertainment. It's expression, opportunity, confidence, and transformation. You can dance. One stage, one culture, one energy.
NBS. Always. Live at 1.
A very good afternoon and thank you so much for keeping it NBS Television always. Welcome to NBS Live at 1 with me, Tracy Kansime. Opposition legislators have opposed the motion seeking Parliament's approval for government to borrow over 168 million euros from UK Export Finance and Citibank for Phase 2 of a solar-powered irrigation project. They argue the loan must first be scrutinized by the relevant parliamentary committee before debate. Government maintains the loan is urgent to avoid delaying the project. Opposition Chief Whip Paul Mwiri says proper scrutiny is necessary, while government says immediate approval is needed to prevent disruption. We now head to Parliament and listening to the proceedings.
It is high time we moved. We are moving from 434 irrigation schemes in the last ones of Phase 1. We are now coming to 427. In fact, what we'll be talking about here, how can the government request other development partners there, including maybe the one that Honorable Masaba was talking about, to come on board such that we widen the scope and make sure that we get many of our people captured and supported by these irrigation projects. Finally, Right Honorable Speaker, they have listed here the beneficiary.
Honorable Kefa, then Honorable Nankabirwa.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker.
Then I will come here.
Right Honorable Speaker, I stand to support the motion. And if I had any doubt, I draw assurance from Honorable Muiru. He has said it's a good loan and a good project, which actually he also supports. His concern was with the audit. I think, Honorable Muiru, you know it. If there is a problem in an organization, audit query in an organization, you don't close the organization. You don't stop operations. Whatever the audit queries are, they have to be addressed. But that's a separate issue. We'll need the Treasury Memorandum, but that will be a separate issue. Then the second thing, there was the Honorable Kirumira here. I mentioned that this is money from commercial from money lenders. Actually, it's a semi-concessional loan. Semi-concessional. It's not exactly concessional, but it's concessional. Normally, the concessional loans are up to around 3%. The interest rate on this one is 3.6%. The commercial bit is the one which is more expensive, but that is only 10%. So 90% of the loan is semi-concessional. And I also see this project actually as revolutionary. Actually, I've looked at the districts that benefit. 126 of our districts will benefit. Over 700 projects, 700 sites will be involved. That's revolutionary, which I believe will help.
Thank you. Honorable Nankabirwa Ann, wait.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I stand to support the motion to borrow. Right Honorable Speaker, as farmers, we are touched of how much loss we are undertaking because of the climate change. We can do mitigation, we can do adaptation. Irrigation is one way of adaptation to climate change. These days, you can experience rain in your compound when the other side of the house there is no rain. Those are effects of climate change. I do take recognition of what Honorable Masaba is saying about the issues. But I think there are two issues, or three or four. Approval of the loan is one of the things. We have been informed that we are time behind. I am seeing here 126 districts, including mine, including yours.
Plenary proceedings continue on NBS Live on AfroMobile, and details of that story will also be coming up in our subsequent bulletins. But moving on, the People's Front for Freedom has petitioned the Judicial Service Commission, accusing the High Court Judge Emmanuel Baguma of denying a fair hearing to opposition figures Dr. Kiza Besigye and Haj Obeid Lutale. The party is seeking the Commission's intervention, alleging judicial conduct that undermines the accused person's right to a fair trial.
For Dr. Kiza Besigye, we have petitioned the Uganda Law Society formally to intervene in this matter to ensure that due process is accorded the sanctity it deserves, to guarantee fair trial. Because as I indicated in this document, since Dr. Besigye was renditioned from Nairobi, together with Obeid Lutale, November 2024, we are battling for fair trial, fair hearing. The hearing has not commenced. It's coming to 2 years, but we are still fighting for fair trial, for justice to be done. Now, Justice Baguma is jetsoning all rules of procedure, jetsoning matters of the constitution, jetsoning even logic to order that we should have a marathon trial, back-to-back trial, without addressing issues of fundamental rights. We have said no. And that's why we are knocking at every door. The Deputy President and the team here have already told you the steps being taken. In addition to that, now we have knocked at the door of Uganda Law Society. I'm glad they have opened. They have opened widely the doors for us, and here we are. And on that note,
Bunyoro Kitara Kingdom has cancelled public celebrations to mark the 32nd coronation anniversary of Omukama Dr. Solomon Gafabsa Iguru due to Ebola prevention guidelines. The Prime Minister, Andrew Byakutaga, says only a limited number of people will attend the Thanksgiving service at Duhaga Cathedral on June 11th. The service will be led by Bishop Jacob Atweideho in compliance with health regulations. We're joined by the Bureau Chief, Alan Mwesugwa. Very good afternoon. Let's get into just what the scientific celebrations will look like for the kingdom.
A very good afternoon, Tracy, and good afternoon, Uganda. This is just one of the days, especially for people in Bunyoro, look up to, especially when they join their king to mark his coronation. Unfortunately, that is not going to be happening this year because the king, besides being ill, but also we have Ebola and also strict guidelines that are issued by the government. So now the Prime Minister of Bunyoro Kitara Kingdom, Andrew Byakutaga, said they will not be able to mark the day, but of course, Thanksgiving, and that's going to be at St. Peter's Cathedral, Duhaga, in Hoima, where a few people will be able to attend in regards to social distancing. We did speak to the Prime Minister about the same. Let's listen to Andrew Byakutaga in there.
The first is that, as you are aware, on the 11th of June, every year we celebrate the commemoration of His Royal Highness, the King of Bunyoro Kitara, Dr. Solomon Gafabsa I. And this coming 11th, on Thursday, we shall be celebrating the 32nd anniversary of His Royal Highness's commemoration. But as you are aware, we were not able to arrange the normal celebrations we have due to the Ebola threat. But we have prepared prayers at St. Peter's Cathedral in Duhaga on the 11th of June 2026 at 10 a.m. And this service will be celebrated by the Bishop of Bunyoro Kitara Diocese, Right Reverend Joshua Taylor. So I invite all the people of Bunyoro and our friends and everyone to come and pray with us. Normally we would have this prayer service on the 10th, on the eve of the Mpanga celebration, but because we're not having the celebration, we are going to have it on the 11th. So the prayer service is always there on the eve. So I'm inviting all our friends to come and we celebrate, first of all, the 32 years, the reign of His Royal Highness for 32 years, what God has taken us through the previous year, and what I'm praying God to take us through the next year. So we are all invited to come and attend this prayer service.
So the king has been ill since 2019 and has not been able to perform most of these rituals. We're talking about culture, including coronations, just because he's been ill. But of course, the Prime Minister maintains that the kingdom and the government are managing his medication, and soon he'll be fine. And that's what the new subjects are waiting to hear him be able to reign on his throne. For now, it's a fair afternoon here. Back to Tracy at the Political Command Center. Agunda Gunde Karuzika.
Well, thank you so much, Alan Mwesugwa, on that story. The International Justice Mission, in partnership with the Toro Kingdom, has embarked on the development of gender guidelines aimed at addressing cultural norms and practices that fuel gender-based violence across the region. The initiative seeks to promote positive social change, strengthen the protection of women and girls, and encourage communities to embrace cultural values that uphold dignity, equality, and human rights. We are joined by Fad Masereka, who is in the Rwenzori sub-region. Thank you so much, Fad, for joining us. Let's also get into the conversations of why this is particularly relevant in these times.
Well, good afternoon to you, Tracy. Good afternoon to our viewer. Well, I'm coming to you live from Toro Kingdom, and specifically in Fort Portal. And just like you said it, the International Justice Mission is partnering with the Toro Kingdom to ensure they come up with guidelines that are going to ensure gender-based violence is curbed. And I want to bring in the Western Regional Manager for the International Justice Mission, Mr. Emmanuel Mwamu, to speak very much about this particular issue. Let us know, we have just known that you're partnering with cultural institutions, and this is not the only one that you've partnered with. We understand that there are 6. Why are you partnering with cultural institutions, for instance?
Yeah, as International Justice Mission, we are first working towards protection of women and children in Uganda. But the major focus is to accompany government stakeholders and government actors to ensure there is protection of women and children. So in that mapping, we discovered that cultural institutions play a critical role in amplifying the community voices, but also they have a bigger trust from the communities. And it's equally to increase the aspect to do with demand for protection. So in as much as we want to mainstream, ensure that the communities rely consistently on the justice system for their protection, we also require that there must be those who are rallying the community to rely on the justice system. So cultural institutions are well positioned, they have the good listenership of the community, they have a better trust from the communities, and so therefore when you work with them to change practices, to denounce harmful practices that are able to promote, that are consistently promoting gender-based violence or violence within communities. So by doing that, denouncing those harmful ones, documenting better guidelines in how they can support communities to seek for services and support. So currently what we have is disturbing that communities are not seeking for support. And because of culturally reinforced practices where people feel there's a lot of stigma, if you report a matter, there is generally protection of male, dominance societies that are denouncing the values for children and the rights for women.
Okay, Mr. Emmanuel, let us talk about this issue of gender-based violence. How does it stand here in this region?
So as International Justice Mission, we paid attention to do a survey together with the government to identify what is the scope of the problem. And currently, the statistics came out and demonstrated that we have, indeed, for every 10 women, 6 have experienced violence in their lifetime. So when you look at the 6, we're also looking at only 2 types of violence. That's physically beaten or perhaps sexually abused. So you have about 6 for every 10. But also when you looked at for the last 12 months, you find for every 10 women, 3 have experienced abuse in the last 1 year or rather 12 months, which is quite a problem. We said that needs to be resolved. But beyond that also, when you move the aspect to children, because we also looked at children, for every 10 children, you'd find 6 children have undergone sexual violence. For children, we only paid attention to sexual violence. And then when they undergo sexual violence in their, child life, but when you divide that number to separate between boys and girls, you find that the number is even different. You have 8 for every 10 girls experience sexual violence, including in this region, before they become adults. And then we take to the boys, 2 boys in 10. You might think this is a vice which is foreign to boys. Now it's also with the boys. So that's why we're saying these are the numbers that we're looking out. The most annoying part is how many seek for services, seek for support, seek for restorative services. We only found out there were 2 in every 10 incidences that occurred in the communities. Only 2 people desired to follow for services. But also when they sought for services, only 1 went to the formal justice system. 1 went to either cultural leader, a religious leader, or somebody, a neighbor in the community. So that tells you need to target religious leaders, target cultural leaders, target community leaders as well to increase their ability to communicate to the people, to rely on the justice system, to go to the right actors for protection.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. Emmanuel. Tracy, that is it from Fort Portal here. But you just had those disturbing statistics. That means there is a lot that we need to do as a people, as a community. The need for concerted efforts to ensure gender-based violence is curbed to its best. Let me get back to you, Tracy, at the Political Command Center.
Thank you so much, Fad Masereka. There are very concerning statistics indeed. We will have more on this story in just a bit. We will now be getting into news from elsewhere, and in just a bit, a reminder that Ebola is real. Be sure to observe some of the standard operating procedures that have been guided by the Ministry of Health. These certainly include washing of hands, as well as do observe social distancing in the meantime, as we remain vigilant in terms of the fight against Ebola. We now want to suddenly take you to interesting developments on the war in Ukraine, and particularly from the situation that is happening within the European Union. The European Parliament has indeed new developments in this particular case, and we will be sharing with you details of that story in just a bit. Now, in news elsewhere, European leaders are stepping up diplomatic efforts to end Russia's war in Ukraine, with the UK, Germany and France backing a push for direct talks between President Volodymyr Zelensky and Vladimir Putin. The three countries reaffirmed that Europe must play a central role in any negotiated settlement while continuing military support to Kyiv. For more, let's cross to Thomas Sparrow, our colleague from the DW in Berlin. Our European leaders are backing ceasefire talks, but the question is, what concrete preconditions exist for this to happen?
Tracy, one of the very big issues that's at stake in the war in Ukraine, and specifically regarding the question of how to end the war in Ukraine, is whether a ceasefire needs to happen before peace talks or whether peace talks will lead to a ceasefire. And in this particular case, there are very different views. The Europeans, and you mentioned that in your introduction, would actually want, as one of the key preconditions, for a ceasefire to be set in place before negotiations can then take place to end the war. Russia, on the other hand, sees that differently, because Russia believes that if there is a ceasefire, that will only help Ukraine to rearm, to regroup, and that's something then that Russia does not agree with. A second precondition that comes from the European side is that any peace deal must give Ukraine security guarantees that essentially will make it possible for Ukraine not to be attacked again by a country like Russia. Russia, you can imagine, sees this differently, because Russia says that it will only stop attacking Ukraine when it fulfills its military goals. There are other preconditions as well, but these two are at the heart of the discussion about how the war in Ukraine must end, and what different players involved from Ukraine, Russia, the Europeans, the United States actually want and need to make this war end as quickly as possible.
Thomas, how is the situation on the battlefield shaping these diplomatic efforts?
Well, the situation on the battlefield continues to be very difficult. Essentially, there are still attacks from both sides. So Russian attacks on Ukraine, also Ukrainian attacks in Russian soil. In fact, Ukraine has been moving more into Russian territory. And what experts say specifically is that this situation could, on the one hand, make diplomatic efforts more urgent. International partners of Ukraine, Russia, Ukraine as well, see the need to have some kind of negotiations, some kind of discussions to end the war. Yet at the same time, this situation on the battlefield could make any kind of agreement more difficult, because both countries, Russia and Ukraine, believe that they want to also fulfill their military goals. So they wouldn't be necessarily very flexible when it comes to discussing different issues at the negotiating table. So on the one hand, more urgent. On the other hand, it could make things more difficult to negotiate.
Thomas, of course, there is a major European project that was meant to have the building of the next generation of fighter jets that has collapsed. How has that, and how will it affect the development?
Well, one of the issues here in Europe, and that's, by the way, an issue that has been happening for several years, is how European countries that normally work together under the European Union can also cooperate when it comes to defense. Because what has happened so far is that different European countries have had different projects based on their strengths. Just to give you one example, there are 3 specific European fighter jets that compete. So the goal back then, the goal a few years ago, was to say, well, why don't European countries like France and Germany work together to have one big, very powerful next generation fighter jet? That was a project that started several years ago. But what happened now is that it has collapsed mostly because of technical issues of the companies that are involved in building this specific fighter jet. What this means for Europe is, again, that it becomes very difficult for European countries to work together when it comes to joint procurement, when it comes to building up different forces for one common project. It is not necessarily seen as a positive news for European defense specifically, because there was a lot of hope that this common project between Germany and France could actually help in this regard. It could help to bring Europe together in terms of defense.
Many thanks, Thomas Sparrow with the DW, joining us from Berlin. That particular conversation takes us into a break, but NBS Live at 1 returns shortly with many more stories.
Bana Uganda twaniriza Joseph Ngoma mu concert yesose ku Lugogo Cricket Oval nga 10 mu July 2026. Tickets za mitwale 2 emitwale 5 ate meze y'abantu 8 ya milioni 3. Tickets ojatisanga ku caritickets.com, Friends Supermarket ne ku Hotel Triangle kwa noti 75658 72225. Kino chetu badde tulinda Joseph Ngoma, mwana mulenzo muwandisi Vocal Powerhouse aludenga konko n'endongo ekutte ku mitima gy'abanna Uganda. Gendongo yenyuma eyimusa ekuwesuubi agikubya mu style y'omulembe kati ategese ekitabangawo. Twagala Cricket Oval ejjule ku mulundi guno gwokka. Babulaza mutwaleko basista out bitegekeddwa charism n'ebiwagirwa.
Today we are in Mackay College School, and we've got our winner, and that is none other than Michelle. I am sure you've already gotten the school fees, and the excitement is already there. Thank you so much.
Bituufu JBD. Michelle has won school fees for a year. Never Zaba Momo. 3 times paid, cleared.
You can also stand a chance to win. You simply have to dial *165 *80 hash or use the Momo app. Schools that accept students to pay school fees using Momo also stand a chance to win a van. Pay your school fees. You never know, you could be the lucky winner.
Better study tips. Be vigilant. Watch out for unexpected prizes or lottery wins. Genuine contests do not require advance payments or personal information. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Brought to you by, in partnership with, Uganda Communications Commission and NBS.
It will do you much good when you are unveiled. Much good when you are unveiled than when you stay as a mystery. The days when the children of God are mere mysteries, those days are coming to an end. Those days are coming to an end. You will see the mystery about yourself, and it will begin to rewrite your life.
Watch The Power of Prophecy with Prophet Elvis Mbonye this Saturday, 6:30 p.m. on NBS TV, Uganda.
Comedy Festival bila bila mukage lirugogo muhuma showground mutenti mwaguga Saturday nga July buli comedy kwa Uganda wano aja kuberayo ngo muri mugwe kusesa naso gabamyuki abantu mujja n'otambala tugenda tuseke kwera bila nabakubanja tiketi ozigula ku momo kamunye mu mutaga 5 kamunyenye 20 kadala tiketi obwagigula ku momo ya mitwale Inga kumilyango ya mitwalo 10 emeze y'abantu 8 ya milioni 2 VIP ya mitwalo 15 kale kinganga buchari eno shock kuseka Pro Max Juliana Kanyongozi Saha Wininwaji Irene Nambiru atanabo tujja kubasesa wallahi bayimenga baseka obwana burapta obwana bukamunye mutanabo takwake tujabi atene kauza mutezoka Nanya July ya Rugogo Muma Showground Comedy Festival bila bila mukaga ategekewa Abitex promotion.
Look for a household cleaner that truly delivers. Meet Appo, the antibacterial cleaning powder for bathrooms and surfaces. Appo is formulated for three-dimensional cleaning. It's a scouring agent that scrubs off dirt and stains, a germicide that kills 99.9% of household germs, and it works with water to wash everything away, leaving your bathrooms and ceramics hygienic and sparkling clean. Keep up hygiene standards without breaking the budget. Switch to Appo today. Appo is available at supermarkets and convenience stores countrywide.
I drink a rock of boom, I dance. Nenyele silver baka, I win it double. Boom chiki, boom chakala. Win it double.
Boom Chakala is back with double energy. Grab a rock boom, all silverback energy. Check under the cap. What you see is what you win. Rock boom, energy for winners.
Welcome back. You are watching NBS Live at 1 with me, Tracy Kansime. Over 145 claimants in Ntungamo district are set to receive long-delayed gratuity and pension payments after the government released 4 billion shillings in supplementary funding. The intervention follows a district-wide verification and cleanup exercise that uncovered alleged bribery, hidden claimant files, and payroll irregularities that left many beneficiaries unpaid for up to 3 financial years, despite having verified service records.
Claimants seeking pension and gratuity payments in Ntungamo district say they have endured years of delays, repeated rejections and alleged demands for bribes before their files could be processed. Many say they have been turned away several times despite making repeated trips to district offices after losing relatives who served in public service, leaving them struggling to support their families.
Moses akabari yo mushija wanje yafa arakora umusekendwe nkakota master ya Rwamanyonyi district ya kuno ya Ntungamo konka nachumbatira obwire buringwa nkija amanyangu ki imyaka mbwenu hati namara imyaka 3 ubwo bwira kabira hariho madamu Jennifer naguma ndacumbatirira kunu kandi ubwo nyondi umuhinji dine na sente ziryaho twatuye n'abana bana.
Ntungamo Chief Administrative Officer Fidelis Chiza says investigations are underway into allegations of entrenched fraud and administrative sabotage within the system. He says some claimants' files were allegedly hidden or discarded, prompting a comprehensive verification exercise. The district has since confirmed more than 145 claimants with gratuity liabilities estimated at 4.4 billion shillings.
We were given 4 billion for everyone who was either demanding for pension or gratuity. And I am happy to say that everyone is going to be paid as they were claiming. And they are going to be paid without paying any bribe.
Because in Ntungamo, we had an issue and the problem of the gratuity for our old people. By 30th of June, to have done everything.
Senior Human Resource Officer Justin Nwashaba attributes the delays largely to inadequate budgeting over the last 2 to 3 financial years, which left the district without sufficient funds to meet pension and gratuity obligations.
We are working hard to make sure we budget very well for the pensioners and their gratuity in time for every financial year. By close of this financial year, every pensioner or beneficiary that has been having an issue with gratuity and pension, that we're going to pay them.
Authorities say all verified claimants are expected to be paid by June 30th, 2026, following reforms aimed at strengthening payroll and financial management systems. They add that the payroll has been cleaned up to eliminate irregularities and ensure timely payments.
We have now tried to clean the payroll. Actually now, we have the cleanest payroll in terms of having people paid in their right cost centers.
Bridget Nsimenta, NBS Live at 1.
That particular story brings us to the end of NBS Live at 1. For more on these stories, do join us in our subsequent bulletins. That will definitely be later on, starting with the 4:30 news updates and later Amasengaje and, of course, NBS Live at 9. For now, we let you head back to Parliament, where plenary still continues. Good afternoon.
There's more scrutiny than.
I'm telling
so
you,
I
opened my mail today. That's when I interacted with this loan. Right, Honourable Speaker.
You got the details of this loan from your mail.
We have a number of non-performing loans in this ministry, and phase 1 of this project, if you scrutinize it, I know that's where Honourable Kirumira is coming from. So, please.
Honorable Abim, and then
from Kakoza, from Honorable Kakoza. Yes.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker.
We are here.
My name is Joyce Ayoma Kamoy, representative of Woman MP Abim District. I stand to support this motion because it addresses one of the problems we are facing as a district. We want the water, we want the irrigation as the district, Abim district, and Karamoja at large. But I am disappointed that in the entire sub-region is not included in this project. When we talk about regions with with climate changes, the first region that comes in our mind is Karamoja. Why isn't Karamoja in the project? Why isn't it not in the project?
The Minister of Finance.
Napak.
Honorable members.
Napak.
Please resume your seats first. The Minister of Finance, you should take care of, because Karamoja was planned for.
Your justification is
and the Minister of Water, you get up and tell us. Why not all finance? You tell us. Dispose of this matter.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker,
In my justification, under page 9, I stated that for the farmers to benefit, this is the selection of sites for irrigation, and the criteria was the following. Under H, for the farmer should not have benefited from the project's phase 1 interventions and should not be under the planned development of the Arab Bank for Economic Development in Africa project, UGIFT, and the Uganda Climate Smart Agriculture Transformation Project. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to believe that the districts which are not included were subjected to this test. They had previously benefited from this program.
Minister of Water on Karamoja. Let's dispose of this matter of, it's painful to discuss loan for other regions, and when we have members from Karamoja, they are saying, we support, but how about ours? So, Honorable Aisha, do you have water for Karamoja?
Yes, right, Honorable Speaker. I want to take this opportunity to thank honorable colleagues for the support and the worries they have. I want to thank them because they are guiding us. In particular, honorable members of Karamoja and to other honorable members. First of all, phase 2 is different from phase 1 because phase 2 is affirmative. It is majorly for coffee farmers. Yes. This loan is going to wait. Honorable, cool down, please.
You are protected. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Right Honorable.
Leave the work for protecting
Karamoja.
the Speaker. Yeah.
Karamoja, you are not under coffee farmers. You are not a coffee farmer area. This project, phase 2, targets coffee farmers only. 2, the smallholders farmers in Karamoja for other enterprises
Please resume your seat,
will
Honorable.
continue to benefit from your gift project. 3, Karamoja is suitable for medium to large scale irrigation. Therefore, Ministry of Water is in a process of implementing Namalu irrigation scheme, which is going to cover 1,510 acres. Karamoja area, we are considering you by considering other 10 sites and big ones, which has been identified for large-scale irrigation schemes. Therefore, I want to...
You conclude.
I'm protected. Therefore, Karamoja, just cool down. We are coming with big, and you are going to be happy. We are having big plans for you.
Okay.
This is an affirmative directive from His Excellency to consider, especially when you look at that paper, you will find that areas in the north, they are considered with many more than those ones in central. So these are the starters, the coffee farmers who are just beginners. Thank you so much, Right Honourable.
And I think the honourable members of parliament from Karamoja, I could guide that you need to engage the 2 ministers, finance, because I saw a document where the president, and the Minister of Water, give them opportunity within before the close of this month, so that you tell them about what is going to happen. Lop, you want to, you do what you do best always.
Right, Honourable Speaker, I will take that as a compliment. Mr. Speaker, for the record, and to comfort colleagues here, those of us across the aisle, by the way, from the opposition side, and I've seen a number of colleagues from the NRM side that are raising concerns, we are interested in every effort channeled at improving agriculture, including irrigation, which we are discussing here. So it's important that that record is straightened out. Agriculture is our backbone. We need to improve it. We need to better it. Right, Honourable Speaker, before South Sudan and DRC joined EAC, 48.9% of all the arable land in East Africa was here in Uganda. We need to establish now that, you know, 2 other countries joined EAC, what it's like. But that gives you a picture of the potential that we have. We have got a lot of arable land. So we should buttress it with irrigation and the like. So the idea is a good one. And we have raised, by the way, these concerns severally in our alternative ministerial policy statements to say, why are we, because we have let it down ourselves. Our concern is, let's follow the right procedures. Let's ensure accountability of the money so far extended onto this project, the phase 1 that is being talked about. Because if we do not take care of the challenges, all the goofs there were in phase 1, you have no guarantee that you're going to do very well in phase 2. And that's the concern that we are throwing out there. Mr. Speaker, this commercial loan, which is estimated at about 735 actually, when you do the conversion, about 735 billion Uganda shillings. This here is the single largest external borrowing proposed for the water and environment sector. And the Minister for Water is here, she can attest to that. This year is the largest so far in her docket. That's why we're saying we want to handle it right. We want to make sure we cross every T and dot every I. And that's why it was very important for committee scrutiny. Some of the concerns there have been, even with phase 1. Right, Honourable Speaker, sites were handed over without feasibility studies. That's a critical concern. So it is not right for us to say, let's just jump to phase 2. But you have some cleaning up to do. Why aren't you interested in cleaning that up? Only when studies were eventually done, Right, Honourable Speaker, was it discovered that many of the sites were not viable. And I saw the Minister of Finance, you know, he conceded on a few things. But as you're conceding, why do we not do this cleanup? It's very important. Right, Honourable Speaker, money is gone for project phase 1. And even that project is incomplete. By September, 30th September 2025, 366 billion shillings had been released and spent. This figure, Mr. Speaker and colleagues, represents 100.3% of the approved budget for phase 1. So that means phase 1 overshot, and yet it is incomplete. Why do we not want to deal with these issues? So you overshot the amount for phase 1, and it is incomplete. We are saying, can we do that cleaning up, even as you're rushing us to phase 2? The other concern, Mr. Speaker, systems were built, but many are not working. That's phase number 1. So we are being rushed into phase 2. But we are saying, why do we not take stock of phase 1? And that should be for the good of all of us, because even where this project is being implemented in the various districts, I've had colleagues saying, our farmers are suffering, let's pass this. This accountability is good for your area also, because if money is spent and you're not getting the value that you ought to, why aren't you concerned? Honestly. Because our concern, Mr. Speaker, we want to go to phase 2 and whichever other phase there is, I don't know. But as we proceed down that road, take stock, deal with all the challenges there are in phase number 1, because you have not dealt with them. Now you want us to quickly rush and appropriate money. And now we are appropriating a lot more money, 735 billion shillings. It's the single largest in the docket of water and environment. Why do you not want us to do it right? I'm at odds, Mr. Speaker. all of us here are in consensus. We must be able to fund irrigation. We have raised that severally in our alternative ministerial policy statements here.
Do you irrigate? As I mean, farm practices.
You're asking whether I irrigate?
At home.
That's immaterial, Right Honorable Speaker. There's many things I don't do, but we pass them here. I'm not in the oil and gas industry, but we pass laws.
I just wanted to know whether in Nakawa you have some vegetables where you practice.
In Nakawa we may not have them. But Mr. Speaker, I am a member of parliament at national level. That is why you did not ask those of us in cities where there's no irrigation to move out. Because you will not have quorum if it is only the farming areas that do so. But seriously, Mr. Speaker, the point that we need to take care of, government needs to be accountable for phase number 1. It has not been accountable. And that's why we thought that would be captured at committee level. Here we are struggling to tease out those issues, to hold government accountable for that money to be properly accounted for.
This, what you are saying here, is like a committee. And I want the government side to take it serious, the issues being raised by the opposite side. This is what would have happened in a real committee of national economy. You get members to freely. So for some of you who are doing this for the first time, there's nothing wrong. We only had, you need to take this in good faith. And I believe you are concluding.
Yes, I am. And Right Honorable Speaker, you did quote Rule 8 of our Rules of Procedure. And I don't want to get into a back and forth with the Speaker, but I thought I should tease this out, even for your further guidance. Rule 8 provides for a procedure that is not provided for unprecedented. Mr. Speaker, with due respect, this particular one is provided for under none other than our country's grand norm, the Constitution. Article 91 of the Constitution. It says Parliament shall appoint committees for the efficient discharge of its duties. So it is provided for. It is my considered view that this is not one of those that falls under Rule 8. Because it is provided for, we are meant to formulate those committees. Mr. Speaker, yesterday I did inform you that we, the opposition side, we are more than ready to allocate members to committees. We are ready. I don't know if our colleagues on the NRM side, I see the good doctor, who is the government chief whip now, is here. I want to believe they are ready. I want to believe, I hope I'm not wrong. So this is provided for, and we can be able to scrutinize. You did bring in the rider of the time limit. Again, I want to beseech government, please stop stampeding us. We know about these timelines. We didn't get to know last night that 12th June is around the corner. We knew about it. Why did we not come much earlier? Minister of Finance. I would forgive if we had a new docket holder in the Ministry of Finance. But Honorable Musasizi has effectively, in the 11th Parliament, been the Minister of Finance. He was the one who was always here, borrowing. He would come every day, borrow, borrow, borrow. When it came to the budget, he was the one always here. So he's not new in this docket. When did you discover that now the deadline is around the corner? You can't have discovered last night. And so you come into Parliament, you're stampeding the Speaker, telling him we need to do this very quickly. And so why are you making us look bad? We knew about this. This is not one of those emergencies. Mr. Speaker, many times colleagues do raise emergency situations in their area. Soil has fallen on people, there's a tragedy, floods and so on. Those ones are understandable. This one is not an emergency. We knew about it.
Thank you.
Why did we not plan ahead?
Lope, I agree with you on that one, that we shouldn't be seen. First, to dispose of your matter on the rules. I will say it again. The rules does not provide for a situation where Parliament has no committee on national economy. I can go with you to the highest length and depth of legal interpretation or understanding. In this case, there is no committee. The committee is provided for in the rules, but we've not constituted them. That's why I had to use Rule 8, what the framers did not use that. 2, on the issue of why you make me appear like we are smuggling something. And this is a baptism of fire. You, Minister of Finance, do you know what it took me to be here? So when did you realize? You say something and then the VP will come and conclude.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to thank, please, through the chair, Kakoza, you know the rules. Right Honorable. Right Honorable
Procedure,
Speaker.
Right Honorable Speaker.
Procedure?
Yeah, under Rule 60, interruption of the debate of the Minister.
We have concluded almost the debate.
No, he's submitting something, it's a debate. So
he was responding to the request. But anyway, what do you want to say, Honorable Kakweza?
Right, Honorable Speaker, you've stated. I think this is a serious issue because as a person who has been here for some time, it has become a habit of Minister of Finance stepping in Parliament. Let's call a spade a spade. There is no way, when you look at Public Finance Management Act, it gives you a time frame when you come here to pick money. This loan was of 2021. You are talking of a timeline which is on 13th. But we've been around. Don't cause this Parliament to look shabby because of your own interest. We've been framing the last Parliament. I have the record.
Point taken.
Yeah, can I conclude so that he can answer it? Please assure us you are passing a loan today. The crossing of the books of accounts of the financial year ending on 30th. Are you going to submit that money to the votes and get appropriated? Please help us. For us, our work as members of Parliament is oversight function to check a government what it does. It's not proper. It's unprecedented. A loan to pass here being not scrutinized on that amount. I stop there.
I know you are supporting the image of this House, and we thank you. Honorable Minister, will you continue doing this thing?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues. Let me begin by thanking colleagues who have supported the borrowing in the debate. Mr. Speaker, I am sorry for not concluding the processes in time because of the circumstances which were beyond my control. And I want to commit to this House that in future, save for the circumstances beyond my control, we will try as much as possible to bring loans in time. Mr. Speaker, I now want to respond to the following issues. Number one, Honorable James Kakoza is asking that when shall we spend this money when the financial year is closing on 30th June? Mr. Speaker and colleagues, this financing I'm seeking is to finance the budget for financial year 2026-2027, which is beginning on 1st July. Question 2, the timing. Why can't we wait for the Substantive Committee on National Economy to be formed? Mr. Speaker, we have an offer by UKF, which is semi-concessional. But UKF is telling us that if we go beyond 12th, which is the day after tomorrow, this offer will expire. That is why we are moving very fast so that we are able to catch up with the timelines of the lender. Mr. Speaker, point 3 was on the concern of the cost. But before I respond to that, Mr. Speaker, I want to propose a small adjustment in my earlier submission about the interest rate on the Export Credit Agency facility of 90% under UKF cover. The interest rate I presented of 3.65% was as of March 2026. The interest rate now, as of June 2026, is 3.92%. What this means is that I propose to replace 3.65% per annum fixed to 3.92%. Mr. Speaker, I think it is Honorable O'Mara who submitted that this loan is not as expensive as my brother Honorable Karim thought. The effective interest rate, all in, is about 5.1%. In the market, as Honorable O'Mara informed the House, is that the average interest rate on foreign currency is about 11%. So you can see that, yes, it is not concessional as we would wish it to be, but it is in between commercial and concessional. And Mr. Speaker, the market, Mr. Speaker, as the Honorable Senyonyi stated, I have been very, very, very active in the Ministry of Finance business for the last 5 years. This means I also monitor all the markets. I'm looking for where cheap money is. Mr. Speaker, the current markets, sure, you can compare, because this information is public, that is very difficult to get interest rate lower than this. So, Mr. Speaker, lastly, I know we are all constrained. With my past experience and the kinds of questions I used to raise in this House, colleagues, some of you who know me, I would be raising what you are raising. But this is not the first time, Mr. Speaker, that we are using the committee of the whole House to consider urgent business of government. So I want to plead with colleagues that we take this as urgent business of government, which cannot wait. We pass the loan. It is under good stewardship. The Ministry of Water is here. The Ministry of Finance is here. Parliament is here. We shall do oversight on this loan to ensure that it is fully utilized and to ensure that it meets its objectives and to ensure that it meets its intended objectives. So, Mr. Speaker, I pray and submit that the House considers the loan, authorizes me to go ahead and sign off the loan so that we are able to give water to our coffee farmers in the country. I submit right on.
Thank you. Your Excellency the VP. Your Excellency the VP.
Right Honorable Speaker, according to...
Speaker. Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker.
Doctor.
I thought that you said, Her Excellency, the VP.
I was wondering, the VP of the Republic of Uganda is on the floor. Your Excellency, you can proceed.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members of Parliament. I rise up to speak as a farmer, and I know that many of us here are farmers. At least even if you are not a farmer, maybe your parent or grandparent was a farmer. It is indeed true that a cross-section of members of parliament have raised concerns on the technicality of this loan. And also the discomfort on the implementation of phase 1 of the loan that we passed with the same components that we are discussing today. But I would like to appeal to all of you members of parliament that there are issues that can be handled introspective, others retrospective. The Attorney General can choose one word which we shall use to handle those technical issues, but also the other issues of the first phase of the loan. Is it retrospective or introspective? But it's one of those, the Right Honorable Speaker, you know it. So I stand here to say, as a farmer, there are 3 issues that affect the crops, and especially the productivity. The availability of water for production, the availability of fertilizer, and the control and management of pests and diseases. And the crop that we are discussing today is being propelled by the Ministry of Agriculture to become a national crop. In Teso, we did not hear about coffee when we were children. But now we have model farmers who have planted coffee under the guidance of the Ministry of Agriculture. I am sure also in Bukedi, because on 27th of this month, we shall be in your district. If you have not yet been notified, I can respectfully use this as an opportunity to notify you, Mr. Speaker. We shall be there to discuss issues of coffee in Tororo District Headquarters on 27th of this month.
Notice taken.
27th will be Katakwi. 26th Tororo, 27th. And for Bukedi in Tororo and for Teso in Katakwi. This is a new cash crop in our area. And we are very enthusiastic as farmers, as leaders, to make sure that it succeeds. We know the people we are leading and the status of their per capita income. It is a major role and responsibility that we need to respond to. This motion of the Minister of Finance has presented to us an opportunity to make a contribution to the productivity of coffee growers across the country. We also earlier on committed ourselves that this is a parliament that is extraordinary, and it is going to do things in an extraordinary way. The extraordinary way that I'm talking about is to take note of the technicalities that we have raised and make a follow-up to ensure that they are tackled by the responsible authorities. If it is audit, let it be audit, and so on and so forth. But that should not constrain us with moving with another opportunity that the Minister of Finance has presented to us this afternoon. So in short, therefore, Mr. Speaker, I would like to appeal again to members of this House to speak with one voice, support the Minister's motion so that we can implement the water for production policy to the coffee growers, knowing that globally coffee has a stable market, knowing that coffee will provide a sustainable income for our households across the country. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. notification for the coffee meeting in Tororo is taken, Bukedi actually, and then Teso. Tororo we had cotton, and it's not adding up. The Honorable Member of Parliament from Shema, I'm told she was an accountant. She was denied opportunity to speak and give testimony about this project phase 1. But let's take note that next time, Minister, you should know she was an accountant who assessed the project, consultant. So you can imagine the kind of people we have here. The Honorable Minister, the procedure, we are closing. We've exhausted.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. It is procedure, in our rules of procedure, Rule 63, amendments to the motion. This motion has 3 parts. Part A is asking us to associate with the need to borrow, but it is this Part B that is of concern to my procedural matter. It is to note the financing terms. The Minister has made amendments to the financing terms, expressed by way of which the interest rate be raised from 3.7 to a figure that is 3.9. And will it be procedurally okay if we take it on as a motion, so that when you pass a question, we procedurally take on the amendment suggested by the Minister, as it is stated in 63?
With amendments, the motion would be adopted with amendments. So the Minister moved the motion and he stood up and he said that it's not a motion that again would want us to debate the interest rate. If that was error, you corrected from 3.65 to 3.92, right? So that would be cured by me putting the question as amended to the motion as amended by the Minister. So there is no any other amendment. So, having honourable members having subjected the Minister's motion as amended to the extensive debate, I now put the question that this House authorizes government to borrow up to euro 168,976,356 from the UK Export Finance and the Citibank for the development of solar-powered irrigation systems project phase 2. And I'm hearing the MP for older persons saying 54. I think with that it's 54. The last one, 354. A motion moved and amended by the Minister of Finance. Those in favor say aye, and to the contrary say nay. Aye. The ayes have it. Honourable members, thank you for executing your constitutional mandate pursuant to Article 159(2) of the Constitution. I direct the clerk to extract the resolution and transmit it to the relevant authorities to enable them execute the financing agreement. And before I call for the next business, I want to acknowledge that I have Honorable Wakida Patrick, who had notified us for a brief in 2 minutes, and then Honorable Ojok and Honorable Julius Naki Muntu and Honorable Nyakato. Those are people that who have matters of national importance. Kindly listen to them as government will. 2 minutes each.
Right Honourable Speaker, I rise on the matter of national importance under Rule 40, Clause 1. Right Honourable Speaker, we lost one of our own, Honourable Juliet Raina Kafire, on the 4th of this month.
Speak to the microphone, sir.
Honorable Raina Kafire died on the 4th of this month. As we sit here, we are paying the last respect in Raga Cathedral. Raina Kafire, Honorable, was a member of the Constituent Assembly, 1994-1995. That enacted the 1995 Constitution. She later became a member of Parliament from 1996 to 2006, representing the then Palliser district. During that period, she also served as the National Vice President of the Democratic Party up to about 2006, providing leadership at the highest level of a multi-party politics in our country. Her service to constitutionalism, to ask the members of her constituency, and the political party development remains a legacy that this Parliament must recognize. Right Honourable Speaker, I pray that this 12th Parliament pays tribute to her memory, observes a minute of silence, and that a formal condolence message be sent to the family through your office. I also beg to move a formal motion of condolence under Rule 48, which I request to lay on the table immediately after this statement. May her soul rest in eternal peace. I thank you, Right Honourable Speaker.
Thank you. And I want to ask members, honourable members, may we rise for a minute of silence.
May her soul rest in eternal peace.
And as tradition, Right Honourable Prime Minister, you will you take note of this. This Honourable, the late Member of Parliament, Honourable Juliet Kafire Reina, was well known to you and to government, and I believe government should do what you've been doing better. You can say something. He has informally, and Parliament, the clerk, do what they do for former members of Parliament. Everyone here will one day be former.
Thank you so much, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker and members, I know the late Honourable Raina Kafire. She was a member of Parliament representing Chibuku. Chibuku, I believe in the 7th Parliament and the 8th. And that time I was a deputy RDC in Palliser. She was such a developmental woman. She used to help her farmers, especially those who were growing cotton. She even had a ginnery in the district then, Palliser, but now Chibuku. So I know her. Unfortunately, we did not receive this information early enough. I will inform the President, because I know the President knows the late very well. And I know he will definitely send his condolence message. I will deliver the message, and I want to thank a member for having brought this message to the House. Honourable members, the person we are talking about was once a member of Parliament, and she did a very good job. So the message delivered should be taken in good faith.
Honourable Sinas, then Honourable Lanya and Honourable
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker and colleagues, over this weekend, Hoima City and some parts of Hoima District was struck by heavy hailstone, leaving many farms destroyed, a number of livestock destroyed, but also some houses destroyed. Right Honourable Speaker, my prayer is the Office of Disaster and Preparedness under OPM comes to the rescue of those people who are affected by disaster, but also come to our rescue with relief items like shelter, seeds, but also food. I beg to submit, Right Honourable Speaker.
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Right Honourable Speaker and Honourable Members, I already got information from Hoima City and Hoima District. I request that the member helps us to go through the right channels. She writes formally, and then I will send a team, and we shall provide the needed support.
Thank you. And that should go as an instruction to all new members of parliament. When a disaster befalls your district, there's a whole procedure that you can be doing it while following up, but you have the documentation. Thank you very much. Honorable Olanya Ojok.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I rise on the matter of national importance under Rule 56(1) of our Rules of Procedure. Right Honourable Speaker and honourable members, yesterday we laid to rest a young man, 27 years old, in Sirongo. His name is Sidney Gongodio Giabi, a rugby player with the Uganda Rugby Cranes and the Black Pirates Rugby Club. Right Honourable Speaker, this one is not an isolated incident. He was killed on Friday on some suspicion, which was not proved. He was beaten, killed by the people that he plays to represent out of this country. Year in, year out, on average we lose 1,000 people, according to the police crime report. In 2023 we lost 1,039 people. 2024 we lost 1,019 people. And just last year we lost 950 people. That's according to the annual report of the police crime report. It is my prayer, Right Honourable Speaker, because what happened to Sydney can happen to any of us here. It may not happen to the Speaker, he has security, but any of us walking around the street, anyone shouting thief without any proof, and you're lynched by those who represent here. My prayer, Right Honourable Speaker, because I want to move also under Rule 56(6), that we give the members of Parliament here, because it says we can talk about 15 minutes. We condemn mob justice, a very strong term. My second prayer is that the Minister of Internal Affairs gives us a report within 7 days of what is happening in terms of investigations. My third prayer, Right Honourable Speaker and members, is that we know, because the challenge usually is the response time. Can we have a strategy by the government on response times? You're called, the police is called, and they come 3 hours later, 4 hours later. And then the person whom is supposed to be presumed innocent under the law, under the Constitution, Article 28, 3A, that you are innocently proven guilty, or unless you confess under a competent court. Now, if you look at the videos, Sydney was bundled like a thief onto that police wagon. We want a strategy from the police, from the government, what they're going to do about future incidents. Because I think we buried him yesterday on Heroes Day because we knew he should mark the end of mob justice. My final request, Right Honourable Speaker and members. Because the challenge is that 25%, according to the records, 25% of the murders reported are the ones that are pushed forward to court and prosecuted. Over 4,000 cases and only 1,000 is processed to its logical conclusion. I'm requesting, because we're trying to make mob justice as discouraging as possible. Some people also know. Many of our Ugandans don't know that mob justice is actually illegal. But because I've experienced that pain, and as Council Mpanga once advocated for a nervous system where we feel each other's pain, many of us have lost that feeling. You feel that every thief is guilty, or every suspect is already guilty. Many are not. Many are just victims of circumstances. So I'm requesting that in a way you make it prohibitive. Can we have a public trial? As it happened with the case of Uganda versus Christopher Okello Onyuma. Because through that process, we got to know so many things. Even those who are not lawyers got to understand what actually happens in a courtroom. So a request on behalf of the rugby community, I must declare that I have an interest because I serve as the Vice President of Uganda Rugby Union, and that is one of our members. So I have to declare that interest. But I request that this House openly condemns this particular trend of events. I beg to submit right now.
Thank you, honorable members. It's very painful. A young man, very promising, didn't know anything about theft, and very, very tragic to lose a life in such circumstances. It reminded us, somebody wrote about similar mob justice in Iganga, and the area MP is here, several years ago, where a young man was sent by the parent to go and buy. The father sent him to the nearby shop, not far away from Honorable Kaluya's home, to go and buy something in the evening. And the young man decided to look for his mother, who had left a long time, to escape from home. They could not find him. The parents went on those who were suspected in Iganga here. 3 people were suspected to be witch doctors, that they could have killed the boy. Those 3 people were killed. Even police, they overpowered police, they killed the 3 people. After a few days, they had the news that the young man was with the mother. How do you administer justice to those who killed? And just until recently, I think some of them, most of the people were arrested. Some were given about 10 years or 15 years. But is that adequate? How do you take the law into your hands? And these days, as I said, it is just enough to say wuyo, wuyo, wuyo. And they will pounce on you. Even the speaker is not safe. Because security has also the limit. They can stone you from the car. And the speaker also walks. So everyone is threatened. Prime Minister, what comment they have to say about this undertaking by the Ministry of Internal Affairs? It's a bit of reassurance. It's very painful. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker and members. I want first of all to thank our son, Oranya, for bringing this matter here. Right Honorable Speaker, it is painful that we have lost such a young man at such a tender age. Just like that. I want to use this microphone on behalf of government to condemn the acts of mob justice. Right Honorable Speaker, at one time I witnessed when I was traveling from Kakumiro to Mubende. Somewhere they killed a young man who was a coffee middleman. He had his small weighing scale in Kavera, and then they said that was a thief. Because thieves had stolen that area a day before. Just like that, we lost a young man. So, members, we need to condemn this act with the strongest terms possible. And I want to direct the Ministry or the Minister of Internal Affairs to come up with a report so that we can debate this matter, because it is big. All of us are not safe. Our relatives are not safe. Mr. Speaker, you may be safe for now. What about tomorrow? What about your relatives? What about your voters? And so this matter is quite big. So on behalf of government, I want to commit that we shall, using the police and all security agencies and intelligence, try to make sure that we stamp out this act of mob justice. And the culprits should be brought to book. And this must stop. So, Honorable Speaker, once again, I want to direct that the Ministry of Internal Affairs comes with a report so that we have this debated at length. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Honorable Chirumira. You were not, I think the same thing was raised by the MP, Honorable Julius. So that's the MP who, the area member of parliament. So you want to repeat the same?
No, just...
okay.
Yeah.
We shall have a time to debate this whole...
Okay. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. My name is Julius Nachi, MP Budadiri East. The matter I was to raise is exactly what he has raised. Although I was to go a step ahead, I wanted the resolution of this House that we urge government to ensure a fair and speedy trial of the suspects through a public court at the scene of crime, just like it happened in Gaba during the killing of the kindergarten children.
I think that will be part of when we are debating the report.
Okay, thank you.
The undertaking by the Prime Minister is not a light one. I think that is deep. Honorable Chirumira.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, in South Africa, there is a wave of xenophobic attack where nationals in South Africa are pouncing on foreign nationals, beating them up and killing them up. It has affected so many Ugandans, and the Ugandan community in South Africa is so huge, it's across the entire country. As of yesterday, a citizen of South Africa was killed. I think he's a Songa, because he could not speak Zulu. The Zulus pounced on him and killed him. Now, if they can kill their own because they don't speak a language, it's definitely possible that Ugandans in South Africa are at risk. And my prayer, Right Honorable Speaker, is for the office of the Prime Minister and the line ministries to reach out to the leadership of the Ugandan community in South Africa and find out the current status quo. 2, for the government of Uganda to repatriate Ugandan citizens stuck in South Africa. Because as of yesterday, many Ugandans were at the embassy in Pretoria looking for documents to come back home. And then finally, Right Honorable Speaker, for the Ugandan embassy in South Africa to process travel documents for Ugandans who have the means to come back to their country. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much. Right Honorable Prime Minister.
Right Honorable Speaker and members, while at home some 2-3 days back, one of my daughters brought me a clip when a Ugandan was being asked by a gang of people. I think that clip has moved almost to everybody here. And he said, "I'm from Uganda. Why are you doing our business?" So I took trouble to find out from our foreign mission in Pretoria, who are doing everything possible as we speak now, to make sure that Ugandans who are in South Africa are secure. But that one is not enough. And you are aware we have not been having cabinet. We were shown in the other day, the day after yesterday. And the Minister of Foreign Affairs, apart from the others, is not yet shown in. So I think I will undertake, as a Prime Minister and leader of government business in Parliament, to do something so that our Ugandans in South Africa are safe. So I promise that we are going to get ministers handed over today and tomorrow in the morning before the budget. And then maybe if you can give me 1 or 2 minutes tomorrow in the House, either before the budget or after, I will give you an update. But I want to condemn the act because we are all Africans. We have South Africans who are here. And we have been respecting them. And I want to employ Ugandans to continue doing the same. But condemn the acts that are being done on our people in South Africa. It's not only Ugandans. All Africans who are working in South Africa are facing the same. Not only Ugandans. I saw they were even pushing out the Zulus. Those are neighbors. And I believe they are culturally related. And so, members, I want to promise that we shall come maybe tomorrow if I'm given an opportunity, or maybe another time.
Another time.
I will come back here with a conclusive report on what has so far been done, what we intend to do as government, and whether we can repatriate our people, depending on the situation.
Right,
Thank you so
Honorable
much.
Prime Minister, would you advise the Ugandans to go to South Africa at this point, including your speaker is supposed to go there?
Right, Honorable Speaker and members,
I need assurances that I would be
I
safe.
want to suggest that for now, we need to, because we need to protect our lives first. For now, I cannot advise you, Right Honorable Speaker, because we usually say life first before any endeavor, isn't it? And so, colleagues, I want to end by saying that as Africa, and that's why we had to pass this loan, so that we make Uganda favorable, so that we create a very good working environment for our people to have jobs in the country. And that's why NRM government, this time round, we are saying we need to do more with less, so that our people can benefit from all these, to avoid people going out to look for green pastures elsewhere where they are losing life. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Honorable Prime Minister. Honorable colleagues, Honorable Zambali, I am afraid we know each other, but we need to close this. You know how much I know you.
Just briefly, Right Honorable Speaker, allow me to notify this August House about the resurgence of crime-related gangs, that those resurgence of ransom-related crimes that are in the country. Just recently, OHT, where the former Prime Minister of Uganda lost a daughter in the names of Babiri. The criminal gangs targeting innocent people targeted their daughter for financial gains. So my prayer, Right Honorable Speaker, is to the security agencies must act decisively to protect their lives and restore public confidence in the safety and in the rule of law. That is what I want to notify this August House. There is a resurgence of ransom-related crimes in the country.
Right Honorable Prime Minister, you take note of that and you come back and you give us assurances. Ugandans need to be safe while they're here. Sports training, Tuesday to Friday, from 7 to 9 a.m. All MPs, Lugogo. Don't say you don't know. The contact person is here, Honorable Lino Ngompek. And he says sports is wealth and sports is health. And please go for that training, because very soon you will know the benefits of belonging to the sports arena. Clerk?
Item number 5, adjournment.
Honorable members, the House stands adjourned to tomorrow, Thursday, 11th of June, at 2 p.m. at Kololo Ceremonial Grounds for the budget speech.
Looking for a household cleaner that truly delivers? Meet Apo, the antibacterial cleaning powder for bathrooms and surfaces. Apo is formulated for 3-dimensional cleaning. It's a scouring agent that scrubs off dirt and stains, a germicide that kills 99.9% of household germs, and it works with water to wash everything away, leaving your bathrooms and ceramics hygienic and sparkling clean. Keep up hygiene standards without breaking the budget. Switch to Apo today. Apo is available at supermarkets and convenience stores countrywide.
Tekomu kaweefube waffe owalinnya step leero ffenna tulabe nti buli lugendo luggwa bulungi tusange ku mitimbagano omanyi enkyukakyuka gy'osobola okuleeta ng'okozesa hashtag yaffe hashtag linnya step.
The world is going digital and creativity is no longer just a passion, it's a pathway. Next Creator is building dignified job opportunities for young people by turning creativity into real careers. It's about more than just content, it's about learning digital skills that lead to sustainable income, branding yourself with confidence, understanding influence and the digital economy. Next Creator equips young creatives with the tools they need to grow, adapt and thrive in a fast-changing world. If you want to turn your ideas into opportunities, if you want to make creativity work for you, this is where you start. Next Creator, your skills, your future, your opportunity.
Comedy Festival bila mukage lirugogo muhuma showground mutente bwaguga Saturday nga July buli comedian gwomanyi mu Uganda wano ajja kubeerayo ng'omulimu gwe kusesa abantu n'amaaso gabamyuki abantu mujja n'obutambala tugenda tuseke werabira n'abakubanja tiketi ozigula ku momo kamunyenye mu 65 kamunyenye 20 kadaala tiketi oba ogigula ku momo ya mitwalo 5 naye nga ku miryango ya mitwalo 10 emmeeza y'abantu 8 ya milioni 2 VIP ya mitwalo 15 kale booking nga bukyali eno show kuseka Pro Max Juliana Kanyomozi King Saha Wininwaji Irene Nambiru ate nabo tujja kubasesa walayi bayimbenga baseka obwana burapta obwana bukamunye mujja nabo kakwakulako emitwalo gyabiri ate nekawuza mutesozoka nanya July Rugogo mu Showground Comedy Festival 2026 ategekedwa Abitex Promotion.
Welcome to the Snack and Vibe.
Kapeke 19 Kapeke Teme Singo Muteme Singo.
Request with Prince Mayanja doing nothing but the most.
Request with the one and only Prince. Ogenda Kushidaba by Tracy Milan.
Play for me Believer by Laika Music.
Lonely by Justin Bieber.
You know when you see me.
28 by Ruth B. I dedicate it to my mother.
All my friends are hardly. Stay tuned, Snack and Vibe.